Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? What is going on? Welcome again to the Geeks Forever podcast. It is September 17th, 2020, and I am your host of the show. I am Jesse Goku, also known as El Oso de Rey de Mexico. And always is joining me is the host with the most, the man with the plan, Jace.
That's me.
And notice by their absence, Keyblade Sonic will be here later today, but he's running late. He had to go eat because he's hungry.
He refuses to eat on camera.
And SJ is not here today. She took the day off, so she'll be back tomorrow with our guest, Michael Horton. Here's a who.
That's not sure.
That's not his actual name, but it's Michael Horton. He's from Murder, She Wrote, right?
Murder, She Wrote. He voiced one of the Jamesons in the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s.
It was John Jameson.
John Jameson. He was also in Dances with Wolves. He has a very long IMDb.
All right. Also joining us today, we have some special guests today. They are the admins from the Facebook group known as the Plus Size Cosplayers. Welcome.
Your mic is still muted, Lori.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. I saw that.
First try.
I'm here.
All right. Why don't you introduce yourselves to our group, starting with Lori, since we already said your name.
Hi, I'm Lori. I am the accidental owner of the Facebook page. That's quite a story in its own right. So I am a librarian. I'm a philosopher. I am a figurative artist, and I try to cosplay. So I'm pretty much try to do everything. I stay busy. That's pretty much who I am.
All right. Thank you. Also, our second guest, why don't you introduce yourself for us? We can see your name. That's all we see is Maki.
I'm Maki. I'm also an admin of the Plus Size Cosplayer group. I have been for, I guess, almost 5 years now. I'm a graduate student, a psychology graduate student, and I play games and I cosplay, and that's pretty much all there is to about me.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for agreeing to be on the podcast. Want to give a quick shout out to some of our commenters joining us today. Pachinko, what's going on? Chad says, hola mates, and Indigo, hello, welcome, first time commenter on the podcast. Welcome. She's really talented. She's a really talented cosplayer. She's really amazing, by the way. Also, just a couple of things that we want to talk about real quick, briefly, they're just to bring up, and then we're just going to get them out of the way. Since Sonic's not here, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about him. Funko has not officially announced this, but the retailers for Funko that do all the business for them have announced or have leaked out that they have canceled the Marvel Zombies Black Panther Funko Pop. It is officially canceled. They are no longer taking pre-orders, and it's not going to be released out of respect for Chadwick Boseman. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people understand where they're coming from with this decision. So just letting everybody know, all of our Funko Pop collectors know that the Marvel Zombies Black Panther is canceled. Also, the PlayStation, they've officially announced for the PlayStation 5 that it will not be backwards compatible with PS3, PS2, and PS1 at launch. So that could change in the future. We don't know. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Sonic's not here. And it froze. It froze for everybody.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
It happens. It's like a
no,
hiccup.
it happens a lot. It's because of we didn't have this issue before, but as soon as school started back up, I noticed we started having this issue again.
These darn kids with their internet.
In there.
Everybody's using Zoom for class now.
Save some for the rest of the nerds.
That's right. Like my neighbor's internet bandwidth can only go so far. I mean, it's already bad enough that they don't know that I'm using their internet.
You should probably get your own.
I should probably get my own internet. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us a little bit about the group. Like, how long have? Okay, you said you're the accidental owner of the page.
What card game did you win it in?
Well, it was a weird thing. I had joined the group because I was getting started at cosplay. I'd had a bad encounter at Dragon Con. And I largely felt it was because I was plus sized. And so, I wanted to find a place, get some support, get some encouragement, help me get better at being a cosplayer and things like that. So I was in the group, and one evening I'm on reading the messages and everything, and this message pops up that says, the owner is deleting this Facebook page. Do you want to take over as the owner? And there was a timer. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, no, I don't want this page to go away. What's happening? And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so I clicked yes. And the next thing I know, I'm the owner of this Facebook page. And apparently there was a whole lot of drama that I don't even remember. I have no idea what it was all about to begin with, really. And she had kicked out everybody and had tried to delete the whole page in anger. And who knew that Facebook had a failsafe? Right. And so the next thing I know, I've got the page, and I had to find some of the admins, and so I got Maki back and some of the others, and we just kind of rebuilt everything from scratch from there.
Oh wow!
That sounds like one of those pop-ups that say, "Congratulations, you've won! Click now to claim your prize." Huh? Only it's stressful because you want the prize.
Yeah, I felt one of those. I won? I don't win shit.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
So, yeah. But how? Okay, so as the owner of the page, how long have you been the owner of the page?
What? Probably about 6-7 years. Not much longer than Mackie's been, because she was one of the first I brought back. So, wow. Yeah, it's not been that long.
Joining us is our other admin host. I mean, not admin host. I'm sorry. I didn't mean admin
host. That's a start.
He is an admin, though.
He is an
Technically,
admin.
I'm an admin, so it's okay. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Did I say admin or add more men? Because he is
admin. Admin.
Subconsciously, it's probably what you were thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure that was.
Just be happy I can speak English.
Mexican.
No, it didn't freeze. Okay, so you said 6 or 7 years. That's a long time. Like, I think, I don't know how long ago I discovered the page. I think I discovered it like, I want to say 3 years ago, 4, maybe 3 years. I'm not exactly sure, but I stumbled upon it because I'm like, I was trying to find more Facebook groups because I was trying to branch out the podcast, find more people like, hey, who can we get on here as guests? Like, who can we interview? And this is when we were starting off. So we were trying to interview individual cosplayers, and I stumbled upon it and I decided to join. And I've noticed that there was like the amount of positivity in the group is like really like, I guess, refreshing. It's really nice to see that there's a lot of people that are so uplifting instead of being like, oh man, what the hell are you doing? You shouldn't be wearing that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about this group.
For Maki, how long have you so Maki, you were one of the original admins?
I wasn't one of the original admins, but I was one of the ones before the whole showdown happened that made Lori that made Lori become the owner of the group. But I had been.
I'm curious. I'm so sorry if I'm like really curious. Y'all make it sound like the WWE Royal Rumble. Like all of a sudden everyone's fighting.
It was just I honestly can't remember either, because now that I think about it, it was closer to about 6 years ago, and I don't really remember what happened, but I remember the group wasn't as positive as it is now. There was still some negativity roaming around, and some people who maybe shouldn't be in the group, and the group wasn't really moderated the way it should be to try and keep the community safe. So I think what happened was some of the members of the group kind of started to call it out, and the original owner, she didn't really like that. And, some people, when they take criticism, they don't take it well. And they just
Mhm.
go, well, forget everything and try and throw everything into the air. But
Mhm.
luckily, I guess Lori caught the group and,
Lo- it was that's exactly what it sounds like, though. The WWE, for the non-wrestling fans, the WWE Royal Rumble is 30 people go in the ring, and the last person in there wins, and they get to fight the champion at WrestleMania.
Only
So-
she just
Yes.
was never eliminated and just
You were
kind of
just-
got back in the ring.
You
and
were
then
the
was
last person
"Hey,
standing. You won the-
Axelmania!
It's like, oh, you're going to Facebook group Mania. You're going to fight the champion. The champion never showed up, so now
Right.
you're the champion.
glad
Yeah, there
Lori's
you
the
go.
champion.
Hey, but
She's a
There
good
you go.
leader.
Doggo's here.
Oh, well, thank you.
Doggo, we haven't even mentioned Anime Matsuri yet.
I know.
He just loves attention.
Yeah,
Puppy.
sorry. You can see 2 hours of him trying to lick my face. That's an OnlyFans exclusive, by the way.
That's right. That costs money.
Yeah, so sign up for our Patreon.
Well, because okay, so you go back to you look at cosplay. How long have both of y'all been? You said Laura, you said that you tried to cosplay, or you tried.
Yeah, I had started out and was, trying to become a cosplayer, exploring. And I mean, I was doing really simple Hobbit costumes and went to Dragon Con and just didn't get treated very well by the Lord of the Rings cosplayers who were there that night. The steampunk people picked me up and they were awesome. I wasn't even dressed up in steampunk, but and so I was like, well, I just need to learn how to get better. But I wasn't about to take that just because I'm a plus size person that I shouldn't be trying to cosplay, or that, there's something wrong with me because I don't look right. I'm not pretty enough, or I'm too old. That was the other thing I kind of wondered about, since, I'm older than a lot of the other cosplayers that were out there. And it wasn't a very welcoming and encouraging spirit. And so I wanted to find that to help me, because I wasn't going to take no for an answer.
Right. Just real quick, I want to acknowledge some of our commenters. Laura, one of the members of Geeks 5 Ever, she's supposed to be running our TikTok, but we just haven't gotten that off the ground. Also want to give a shout out to Gabby. Gabby said hello and then said it was Destiny. I don't know what the comment was towards. And Pachinko said a wild Sonic appears.
That's me. I'm Sonic. That's me. I'm the wild appears.
So I've
No.
been cosplaying since I was 19. That was in 2007, and I remember the community being the community from the outside looks like a winter wonderland, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then once you start getting into it, and this is with any community, you start discovering like there are people that can be douches. There are people that start drama, or you hear about drama even if you're not a part of it. And then you hear about like some cosplayers get mad if you cosplay the same cosplay as them. And there are like some cosplayers that get mad if you steal like attention from them. I didn't know that was a thing, by the way.
Yeah.
And like there are some cosplayers like, oh, if you don't match what they view as the character, the cosplay community is Narnia. Yes.
It was real nice until you
And
look
that's
beyond
the
the
cra-
surface layer.
And that's the crazy thing, because I'm a generation. I'm not that old. I'm only 32, but I'm part of the generation too where if you were a nerd back in the day, you couldn't be open about it. Like you had to be like, "Hey man, you like comics and Power Rangers?" No, man. I watch MTV and
Like back then, you felt ashamed, like to
Like
mention all that.
Sports.
you were
I
like
like
ashamed
sports.
of it. Nah,
Sports
man.
ball.
I don't watch anime. I got a gun in my pocket. I'm cool.
I got a gun in my pocket. My pants are midway down my knees.
Right. Because I grew up like in a rough area. I grew up in a rough area in Houston, so like there was only one anime that everyone knew about. I guess you were kind of allowed to watch, and that was Dragon Ball Z, and that was it. Everybody knew about Pokemon, but like if you watched Pokemon, you were like a loser.
Until Pokemon Go came out and everybody started watching it.
Yeah, but I was an adult by that
Yeah,
time.
we're older. We don't care anymore.
I stopped caring. I have a job. I pay my own. My bills don't care if I'm a nerd. But like I was part of that generation to where we were like you couldn't be open about it. Like, hey, I like games and I still collect figures and all that stuff. And when you finally get introduced to this community, all you want is a group of people that will accept you for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, you're fighting with somebody because you're like Naruto weighs 140 pounds and you weigh 140.5 pounds. I'm like, I'm half a pound over. Screw it. Like, what the hell? Who cares?
Yeah.
No,
That's
he
not
has
the
to be
right style
perfect.
of wig. Oh, God.
And
There's all kinds of competition.
And it's not just there's a couple other things that we wanted to talk with y'all today, and we were gonna like I forgot to mention this to y'all, but we wanted to talk about like you know, because the plus size thing is a big thing, and we've always been wanting to like talk about it, but like cosplay equality as a whole is something that we've always like strived for people to like. What we want to do, I know for our listeners, I know we're very harsh with a lot of people out there when they do stupid stuff, like when a con doesn't enforce their mask rules, or whenever they do something bad and they kind of try to brush it away. I know we're a little harsh, but that's because we're trying to help, like we're trying to help people like realize, hey, you know, we need to make this a better place. Because not for us, because as an old person, you know, I don't like, you know, I'm just happy to be alive at this point. But like I have a kid now, and I want it to be a better place for her.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Exactly.
I can understand the whole the plus size thing, because I've always been like I've never been like skinny. Like I was more fit back then, but I was always like, you know, like raw, lifting weight. I always lifted a lot of weights, and I had the strongman body, you know.
You are broad.
That's what I meant.
There are no anime characters that are broad, though.
But like, there's a picture of me as Naruto, and my shoulders and I'm like this. I'm like, believe it.
He's a cylinder, but it's like solid muscle all the
Yeah.
way down. He
Yeah.
can't get rid of that. That's just his structure.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, because I would mess with people too, because I knew about my size, so I would use my size to my advantage. Believe it, where's Sasuke?
Believe it.
he's gonna
Fucking
catch-
believe it, you
He's gonna
pussy.
catch these hands.
Believe it. Fucking believe it, you pussy.
But you said you cosplayed the Hobbit. No, not the Hobbit. I'm sorry.
A hominy?
I'm
Hey,
dyslexic.
Hobbit. Yeah.
Corn.
I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry. Sometimes it doesn't come out right.
I'm
It's
hungry
okay.
all of a
We're
sudden.
used to it.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, and being dyslexic is weird because like I'll have this entire sentence in my mind played out, but when I actually say it, like a chunk of it is missing when I actually say it.
I'm actually dyslexic too, if it makes you feel any better, so I completely understand.
Oh.
My brain just skips over shit completely. Oh, sorry for
Right?
cursing.
Thank you. Someone that
Did
understands.
you just apologize for cussing?
Yeah.
How dare you? You said
Oh.
bad words here.
No,
Okay.
you're allowed to cuss. You can cuss, and nobody can see your face, so you're good. You can say
I know, right?
anything you want. You're like
Incognito.
stupid Goku.
Stupid.
Like, and to touch back on like the what were you saying? I can't remember what you said. You said about like the inclusivity of the cosplay community.
Mhm.
I'm actually black, so I deal with that a lot, and I have dealt with that a lot. And going to cons, it's always been kind of interesting cosplaying, you know, characters who aren't black as a black person. And, you know, most people are supportive, but I have gotten a few like glances or comments about how like, oh, you're a dark X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, oh, okay, you know. So it's just kind of like I sometimes the cosplay community, it's attempts to be inclusive. They overshot it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to interject.
I was trying to work with a local cosplayer here, and she's a really good cosplayer. She's really into the Disney princesses, but she was really tied to the they had to be a certain size, they had to be a certain age, and you know, while most of the people who are working with her, the girls who are working with her, could be, you know, Cinderella, Ariel, or whoever,
Mhm.
you know, she had to find people who could be Tiana or Moana. And I was sitting there going, does that mean those girls can't ever be Cinderella? So you can't ever have a person of color be your Cinderella for an event or something? I mean, and so I was just like, this is really interesting because you're stuck in all of these rigid, the Disney princesses can only be a certain type, a certain body type, a certain age type, and a certain skin color type. And since Disney really has a skin color problem in particular,
Mm-hmm.
that's you narrow the scope too much, and you're not really filling what you actually believe the Disney dream should be, which is these princesses and these stories should be accessible to everyone, and it shouldn't be limited by any of those factors.
Mm-hmm. I think I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I do that to
we've
people.
had a few guests on as well. That we had the Black Table podcast on. We had Soul Cosplay about a month or so ago. There are people in the Black cosplaying community that the backhanded compliments of like, "Oh, you're pretty for a X skin color." It's like, well, that's not necessary at all. And for cosplaying, it's
the challenge.
You should cosplay someone who's your skin type. It's like, well, have you seen anime? There's maybe one character in every anime that fits a demographic. Everyone else has to be white. And these characters aren't white. They're Japanese. No one can cosplay unless you're Japanese then, if you're going by that stereotype.
Right.
Yeah. As a Latino, I get
you got nobody. You got Chad.
I almost have nobody. Like, unless there's an actual like celebrity or hero from Mexico, like the wrestler El Santo or El Chapulín, like these are people that like most people from this country have never heard of. So if I cosplay him, like, okay, like I could cosplay him, but like no one really recognized. But if I want to cosplay something like that, like, okay, I want to cosplay Goku. Well, Goku's not Mexican. I'm like, well, and somebody's actually said that to me. I'm like, well, it's kind of bold of you to assume that I'm Mexican. Like, yeah, I am Mexican, but how did you know? Like, did you just assume because I have black hair and brown skin?
Goku's also not real, so like.
That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, you do realize that Goku is an alien being from another planet sent down here, and we're just be happy he looks human.
Right. I mean, just like Goku, I'm in that same spot too. I'm Hispanic too. But yeah, like you said, there's some characters from like Central America. If you do it at a convention here in the U.S., most of them wouldn't recognize it. I'll give you an example. I was at Anime Expo last year, and there was one of the cosplayers from the show El Chavo de Ocho.
El Chavo del Ocho?
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, El Chavo," and he's like, "Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you, and like other Hispanics know me." I'm like, "Yeah, it's really cool. It's like you don't have to see that." But yeah, like you said, it could be like Jay said, if that was the case, then if you're gonna put in that logic, so you're saying we can't cosplay any Japanese characters?
Just want to acknowledge some comments real quick. Indigo says, as a woman with broad shoulders, 90% of cosplay are death. And Daniel Kim, first-time commenter, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your comment. I actually like this one. Funny enough, anime is from Japan, so historically the characters depicted are typically not even white in regards to the comment about ethnicity.
Yeah.
So when I first discovered cosplay, I didn't know what cosplay was, and the first time I saw it, I'm like, I just thought people were just like in this really exotic, like really, really good costumes. Like, oh my god, look at all these costumes. No, it's cosplay. I'm like, okay, what is cosplay? And somebody explained cosplay to me. Oh, you're not just dressing up as the character. You're kind of depicting that character as well. So if somebody comes off as a douche, they're not really like trying to be like that. That's just how the character is. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Okay, that's really cool. I would like to dress up. So I dress up as Naruto, and like, it never bothered me that there were other Narutos that were lighter or darker than me. Like, you had a black Naruto, you had me, a Mexican Naruto. And like, you know, there was one guy that got really mad though, because like I just made my Naruto I didn't even make it. I bought all the stuff I needed to do it on the like right there at the con. So I even like temporarily dyed my hair blonde, so it was all spiky and stuff. And this one dude got mad that my Naruto looked better than his, and he's like, dude, like, why don't you cosplay somebody like that's like Mexican or something? I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure, I'll cosplay somebody that's Mexican.
Name
Give me an
them.
example. I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, exactly. And
Pretty much had nothing to say.
I said, good day, sir.
But like when you talk about cosplay, and I cosplayed Trunks once, and I made my own Saiyan armor, and it was, I've never made props prior to that, and I cosplayed it, and the armor was really, really tight. I made it as tight as I could, and I wasn't even, I was overweight. I'm overweight now, but I was less then, and people, like, there was this one guy that made like really awful comments, like, oh, there's a fat Trunks over there. He said stuff like that out loud, and unfortunately, I'm very confrontational.
See, that's why when I took over the group and Maki and the others, we all got together. One of the first things we wanted to be sure we did was set up a place that was absolutely inclusive, non-judgmental, where we could eliminate these body stereotypes and these racial stereotypes and just let people enjoy cosplay and have fun and be praised for work, for being courageous in many cases to step out way outside the comfort zone. Because, you know, somebody like me trying to wear a skin tight bodysuit, I'm going to be terrified walking out my door.
Mm-hmm.
And to have someone say, you're amazing, you're courageous, you go girl, that's what this group is about.
Yeah.
I would never. I gotta say, if anyone ever, I don't care what size you are, anyone that wears spandex of any type, you have my respect, because I will never do that. Like, I don't care what body size I am. But I do cosplays that I can take advantage of. Like once I didn't have a cosplay, I'm like, dude, I don't have a cosplay that fits. I'm gonna make something on the go. So I went as a bar soap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started just like chasing people around the con. Like, oh, you stink. Give me a hug.
Take a bath.
Take a bath.
Need to dress up as deodorant.
Hygiene Patrol.
What about you, Maki? What was it like? I want to get y'all's first time like cosplay experience. Like you said you were the Hobbit in the Hobbit community, or
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Steampunk is very accepting,
because
though.
you can.
I've just
I
hung out with
agree.
steampunk
When I
people,
think
like,
Hobbit, I think of the Hobbit book, because I really like the book.
I designed a costume based on an concept art piece out of right before Unexpected Journey came out. Spent an entire year building the costume to take to Dragon Con, and that was my first really serious effort at cosplay. And it was just a Hobbit character, Lobelia Sackville Baggins, and all I had to go on was a single picture. I mean, she at that time, the picture she wasn't even hardly in the movie, so I didn't have any movie images to work with, and so that was my first cosplay.
Mm-hmm. What about Maki? What was your first cosplay experience like?
So my first cosplay. So I actually kind of started late. I actually started like cons and everything late. I didn't even know that they existed besides out of like Japan and California until my senior year of high school.
Do you mind if I ask like how late? Like, are we talking about like adult? Like
late teen, like late. Well, my first cosplay wasn't. Well, late teen also. I'm gonna say. I think I was like 19, and
Because
I cosplayed.
I started when I was 19.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
probably
So then
20.
I feel.
Oh,
but,
you're
like,
all babies, because I was like 45.
Well, like
19.
Kids nowadays,
I
though.
started when I was 19.
in convention years, I'm actually like a veteran now because I've been
We
doing
are
this
Same,
since 2007.
same. Kids nowadays though, they start like so young. They're like going to cons at like 12 and cosplaying. That's why I said I started late, because like they started way before I
That's
did.
because that's because
It's-
we grew up and had kids, and we made the universe develop little cosplay outfits for our children so that they could dress up as Iron Man or whoever when we go to the grocery store with them at 2, 3, 5,
And
whatever.
and I will say something. I will say this, and I heard this. I heard them say this in the radio. You go back 20 years. Being a nerd, no, being a geek was not cool at all. That was very taboo. But
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
like if you don't know anything about the Marvel, like, hey man, did you see the new? I don't watch the Marvel movies. Like all of a sudden you're a loser. Like you don't watch Marvel? What the hell's wrong with you? And
Yeah,
then like people
definitely
that
has shifted.
there are people that do not like Marvel movies. Like oh, they're destroying the movie industry. Like there are
Martin
directors.
Scorsese.
They're what?
There are bad
Martin
directors
Scorsese.
out there who
Yeah.
hate Marvel.
There are directors, there are fans, there are people that just moviegoers that don't like the Marvel movies. They're like, oh, they're destroying the movie industry. It isn't, because people are so like this is something that was considered like not cool, and all of a sudden it is like it
The
is
norm.
cool. It's normal now. It's cool.
Because all those geeks
is
grew
accepted.
up and they have money now.
This is something we're going through a transition. Like we are going from something that was not accepted to something that is perfectly acceptable and fine.
Mm-hmm.
And cosplay, that goes with cosplay as well. Like you go back, people didn't walk around the streets. Even when I first started, people didn't walk around in cosplay. Now, if you see somebody in cosplay, it's just normal. Like, hey, look, it's another
Yeah,
Deadpool.
Still kind of weird, but they're probably going to go do something.
No. I go to the club in cosplay. Are you kidding me?
You're kind of weird.
That's my kind of weird. So, Maki, what was your first cosplay? I'm interrupting the question, but I interrupted her, so I want her answer.
No, yeah.
I cosplayed Amethyst from Steven Universe.
Yeah.
And it was at a smaller convention. And honestly, I was surprised at the response I got. It was my first time cosplaying. I was terrified. I was painted purple. But like, not a lot of people recognized me, because this was when Steven Universe was actually still small. But, the people who recognized me were so excited. And I think I actually fit the character, like the body shape of Amethyst pretty well. That's why I went with her, because, she's a little heavier set. But so my first experience cosplaying was, it's kind of sad to say, but probably one of my best experiences, when I actually cosplayed somebody who didn't have a natural skin tone. So she was purple and I could be purple, who was similar to my body type and things like that. When I tried to venture out to characters that were, not my skin tone or not my body type, the reception wasn't as welcoming. And I also did it at like bigger cons, so that also wasn't as comfortable. But luckily I had friends with me, and my friends are like my own personal hype man sometimes. So, but that was my first cosplay. And that was back in like 2000.
The way I see it when it comes to skin, and I know we've already said this, but like it doesn't matter what skin tone you are, as long as you're not like darkening or lightening your skin on purpose. I don't know. It's kind of weird with the whole Ichigo Hollow thing, because he's like white, like
He's paler than I am.
he is white. Like he is like what's the kind like
Blanco.
he's blanco like white. Like that's not even a color. That's just a shade. So that's kind of weird. That's like a big gray area. Like, is that okay? Like, I don't know. I think that's okay. I guess it's fine. I guess because it's not an actual skin tone. It's more of a grayish, very, very light grayish white. So I'm like, okay, that's not a skin tone. That's fine. But like, there are people like I don't know if you heard of what was his name? The churro guy.
Leon Chiro.
Chiro.
Leon Chiro. He had darkened his skin. He made it a little
For an
darker
Assassin's Creed.
For an Assassin's Creed cosplay. He made himself a little browner for a cosplay, but he didn't like, it wasn't a tan or anything. He used makeup. So I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that. Like,
Yeah, and he got heat for that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. I think you don't need to. That's like if I wanted to cosplay a person who's lighter than me, that's like me trying to lighten my skin. I feel like it's not necessary, but like I said, I haven't seen it. If it was a part of the makeup to make it look, I don't know, shaded or something.
No. He made his skin tone overall darker.
It was like a bronzer,
Yeah.
like over his entire body.
I mean, I don't know. I guess the only thing I'd say about it is that it's unnecessary.
Okay.
I won't say that.
That's
I wouldn't
fine.
say that his
No,
intentions
you're
were
fine.
negative.
You're fine.
I just say that it's unnecessary.
Your skin tone shouldn't make your cosplay. When it's a situation like Amethyst or other people like Garnet or Pearl, where they're a distinct color and you can literally just change the color to just a palette.
Yeah, because
let's
face it,
if
nobody's
you're
purple.
Not,
yeah, exactly. Or red or
depends on what
like
type of
paper.
sickness you have.
Well,
I ain't never seen nobody purple.
For Miss Lori, what is your take on the whole?
Oh, I'm a, like, this rolls both ways. I think people of color should be able to be anything they admire, any superhero they admire, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. And at the same time, you know, coming from a very Germanic family, and I'm so white it's not even funny. You know,
have you seen me?
if my sons, who were huge Will Smith fans, wanted to cosplay Will Smith from Men in Black, by all means, why not? I wouldn't say blacken their skins, but they can wear the costume.
Right.
You know, if a white boy wants to be Black Panther, let him be Black Panther.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things we had talked about. We talked about, like, as long, and people are fine with that. People actually don't have an issue with that. People have, a lot of my friends who are they're big activists. They're out there in the protests for the Black Lives Matter, and they have said that there is nothing wrong if you want to cosplay Black Panther. Like the hero Black Panther is not just, he's a cultural icon, but he gives people like hope, and like he gives someone, a lot of children to look up to, and he's not just exclusive to the Black community. Anyone could look up to Black Panther or Chadwick Boseman, because he, like, a lot of people looked at him as an inspiration, not as just like, he was an amazing actor. He did a lot of good work, but like with the whole, like, people of color, it also, like, we're also talking about plus size cosplayers, because and I don't know, like, I want to get y'all's opinion on this, because this is something somebody had brought up. This is one of the questions that was submitted to us before the podcast. Do you feel, when it comes to the plus size community, that women get more slack for the cosplay and their size rather than men? Like, men get, like, they don't get as much, like, acceptance, or, you know, I don't know what the proper term is.
You mean men get more slack? We have more leeway with our cosplay.
No,
women
like,
generally don't.
No, I meant like attention. Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Like this, that, and like everybody, like they'll throw themselves over a female cosplayer because she's pretty. But if a guy doesn't, like, dude, come on, man. Like,
wait, do you mean like plus size or not plus size?
Plus size. When it comes to plus size cosplayers.
So when it comes to I'm sorry, I'm just like formulating the questions,
like,
so I can understand it.
Like, let's say like you have, like, the plus size community, when it comes to, like, this is a question they wanted us to answer. Like, when it comes to plus size models, like, do you feel like women get more slack, like they're more accepted rather than the men, where if a guy's a plus size cosplayer, they are more ridiculed, or do you think it's just the same either way?
Oh, well, the problem is, I think that plus size women get criticized in more subtle ways that people aren't always aware of, but women are. So, you know, like my experience at Dragon Con, it wasn't like anyone outright came out and said, oh, this is stupid, you look stupid, I can't believe you came out like this. It was realizing people were looking at you and talking about you, but not talking to you, and all those little microaggressions is what I think women experience, and that's a different kind of thing. And I'm sure their microaggressions are there for the men too, but you know, it's hard to say, really.
I think men get away with being out of shape a lot more than women do, because it's like the attention thing where women, if they look the part and look great, they get all kinds of attention, but if they don't, they're a little bit off, they're going to get that heat, that hate from everyone in the community. Where if a guy's a little bit off, it's like, oh well, clearly he made this prop here that looks great, and he'll get more compliments on the little bitty things that he did right, and he won't get as much for the fact that he doesn't have the body shape for it.
Yeah.
If a woman did it, they're going to get they don't get the attention at all.
I think well, this might be a little controversial to say, but I think that something that's different between men and women when it comes to cosplaying is that in a way, sometimes women have to like prove themselves that they're not actually just doing something for attention. So like proving that, you're not a fake gamer girl or something like that. And so that's why I think like people can be a little more scrutinizing on the cosplays, because like if it looks like it was store bought, they're like, oh, you're just buying it to like, walk around in a tiny skirt or something like that. And if it looks more homemade, it's like, did you even try? But I think that each gender has different, hurdles they struggle with in the cosplay community. I think that sometimes, men can be overlooked for their work because it's not the sex appeal. The audience the sex appeal is appealing to is a little smaller, if that makes sense.
No,
like,
you're and I want to go back to something
It's
you
like the
just said.
gatekeeping in
Something
the
that
community.
you said is actually very important. I actually want to briefly, maybe not briefly, maybe talk about it a little bit. But one of the things that actually pisses me off is that when I see a lot of guys, and we're going to acknowledge some comments as well, because we have a lot of good comments. Thank you, Daniel and Indigo, for commenting. You guys have some really good points. But one of the things I hate that especially a lot of guys, like I've seen a lot of this shit on Facebook, and this was something I don't see a lot frequently, but I saw this a few years ago. It's like, oh my God, she's a fake gamer girl, or she's just an e-girl. I'm like, what the fuck is an e-girl? The way I see it, I've never thought of it like that. Like, I don't know what a fake gamer girl was, and they had to explain it to me. It was just somebody that think they're like pretending to like gaming or pretending to be into it for attention. I'm like, okay, well. And the way I see it, I don't believe in like fake fans. I don't believe in fake gamer girls or gamer guys or whatever the hell you want to call it. I believe that if you like video games, if you like a single video game, just one, then you're a gamer. Like, because and it's not just gamer girls. People give the people that play Madden shit all the time. Oh my God, they just play Madden. I'm like, who can like when you join this community, you want to be accepted. Like, hey man, I like video games. I like to play Madden. I like to play NBA Live. I've met girls that have kicked my ass at Madden.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, no, for real, I suck in Madden.
Yeah, that's like you're not very good at Madden.
There's a streamer. There's a streamer I follow. She would mostly stream Madden. She was like really good at it too.
Yeah, there's lots of. I don't like the whole fake term used for anybody, because like
fake cosplayer,
especially
fake
when it comes to cosplay. Oh, you bought your cosplay. I'm like, I'm sorry, but not everyone has the capabilities or time to make every single. I can't sew worth a damn.
Hot glue.
But I hot glue my cosplays together.
Well, I can't build an armor. I mean, I want to cosplay a character with armor, but I haven't got the space, resources, or ability to do that. So, I'm going to buy the armor. I can sew a dress, but I mean, everybody has their own limitations.
Actually, I have a question though. It was kind of related to what Goku was saying. What about those who used to cosplay, but they don't anymore? But when they see someone else's cosplay, it's like, oh, that cosplay's not that good. Oh, this guy has a shitty cosplay. Oh, this guy was a bot. Man, he should work out better or something like that. How would you feel about those kind of people?
I don't think anyone should be negative towards anyone's body type for a cosplay. I mean, it's one thing to provide a critique, related to the quality or, something like, But to just say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that because you're too fat, you've got the wrong body type, you know, that's no.
Yeah. I think
That's not relevant.
I feel like this sounds a little like maybe nihilistic, but I hope I said that right. But
You're good.
but to me, like when people comment on people's things like that, I wish people would just realize that like those comments are unnecessary, and how somebody else's cosplay looks to you doesn't matter. You know, it's how that person feels in the cosplay. If you have nothing nice to, you know, the lesson they teach us in elementary school. If you have
Right.
nothing nice to say, move
Don't
on.
say it at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't say
it
anything.
doesn't matter.
Because I actually knew somebody who legit like they had like this whole private group about like, oh, you know, him and his girlfriend, like their cosplays are fucking shit and all that. And I'm like, when I found out about it, I was like, okay. I mean, if you want to talk to me, you could talk to me at a con, but you always try to avoid me. So it's clearly something's up.
It could be bits of jealousy as well. Like they kind of low key think, man, I don't want to put the effort into doing something that's like that, but I have lots of time to critique someone else, so that's what I'm going to do to make myself feel better.
Just real quick, I want to acknowledge some comments real quick because we have a lot. Absolutely. Okay, so these are some from the previous subject that we just talked about. So, absolutely not. Cosplayers usually cut men slack in the plus size community. Yes, I agree. I only brought up that question because it's one of the questions that were submitted to the podcast. Women, I feel, are more scrutinized of their work than men are. I can't read. The hostility towards women is more. It's more of a stigma that is grandfathered from the masculine-centric mentality most people tend to have. Someone said, yes, Maki, they're agreeing with you. Yes.
You don't know what for, but
it's like
they're agreeing with you.
If women cosplayers don't look like sex objects, people hate them. I don't necessarily agree with that. I never understood the idea of fake gamers. Like, if you play games, you're a gamer, period. Feedback as criticism is not synonymous with insulting. I actually agree with that. If you're going to give somebody feedback because you just want to help them better themselves, that's absolutely fine. But if
that's fine, yeah, absolutely.
But if you're going to like talk down on them because
feedback
you have nothing better to do,
that looks like garbage. That's not feedback.
Exactly.
That's just you being
That's not feedback. Yeah.
What's up, Liz? Liz the dragon.
Zill, I'll give you there's another example. Like I know when I was doing Goku last year, I had a guy tell me, I was like, hey, I saw your photos. You know, is there a way you could like change your pose? I'm like, oh, sure. And he taught me how to like fix up the poses I did for the photos. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, exactly. And then I applied that to another con when I did the photo. I was like, oh, it actually looks better. He's right.
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen
saying like your poses are trash. That is not feedback.
Yeah, criticism has to have a point.
Right. With Sonic, when I first saw his Goku before he joined the podcast, I'm like, hey man, I saw your Goku. It looks cool. It looks really cool. Like I want to help you out. Like maybe help you fix the cosplay up a little because he has like a blue belt, and I wanted to give him like a much more visible belt. It's like what is it called? A sash?
Like a sash. Yeah, it's a sash.
I wanted to like give him like little things that would help improve his cosplay because I wanted him to be the best that he could be. Like, dude, I want to help you like be better. Like you look good now, but I know there's always room for improvement. There's no such thing. To me,
exactly.
I don't see perfection. There's always some way you can improve it. And like I was already talking about like, hey, what if we make some like lightning that can go around your body? Like this.
Yeah, I saw there was a Deku cosplayer I saw last year when he was doing the full cowl. He had like these LED lights surrounding him, make it look like the lighting. It looked really cool, and I was like, oh, maybe that was probably the idea. And yeah, like you said before, you know, there's always room for improvement. You know, sure, you know, because there's like a difference between feedback and criticism in a way. Like, you don't have to be a total douche about it, and also based on what you say, like the way you say it, how you present the way you say it, it could rub somebody the wrong way.
Right.
And sometimes people don't really want criticism, but people just need to learn to not give it when it's not wanted as well.
Yeah.
And also just really briefly, and I'm sorry if this is kind of like out of nowhere,
so
there are just some cosplayers who think they are God's gift to the world that could use improvements.
Like, you mean like they have a huge ego?
Yes. Like there was this one dude that I met. I'm like, dude, I love your Yori cosplay, man. It's great. Yeah, of course you do. I'm like, okay, well, first off, homeboy, it ain't that good.
Want to shoot the shit? Here we go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am confrontational.
What?
I try to be
It's
nice.
okay.
I try
I'm
to be
friends with a
nice.
lot of
Shit.
confrontational people, so I'm pretty used to it.
Goku doesn't have friends. They're all just afraid to leave him.
They're all just afraid.
Aw.
He's gonna beat them up.
No, that's not true.
We love you.
Some
Goku.
of my friends are like, they'll whenever we go to the Renaissance Festival, oh no, this girl has a boyfriend. Goku,
Like Goku, all of his friends are the ones he beat up. Just
Goku,
like the
come beat
anime.
him up. Anyways, from Daniel, to elaborate with my own opinion about that, Indigo, knowledge of a show, anime, movie is not necessarily to enjoy dressing up as a character. Cosplaying should be because you enjoy the experience. If you dress up as Naruto, but never have watched the show, good on you. Do you and be happy with what you do. I think I've missed. I guess they're having a different conversation in the comments.
There are girls, especially when I was. Oh yeah, the one just above that. It says there are girls, especially when I was in high school, that when they saw the cosplay community semi taking off, they would just buy Pokemon cosplays and Marvel cosplays and litter the cosplay pages, just so they could get the attention that they were getting in high school. So like,
And that brings up a good point, and I actually want to get y'all's opinion. So when I first started cosplaying, there were a lot of people that looked down, and we briefly talked about this, I know. But there were people that looked down on those that bought their cosplays, that didn't make them. Like, there are people that were just like, if you don't make your cosplay, then you shouldn't cosplay at all. And I'm like, and I said, I don't agree. Like, if they have the money, then fuck it.
it's called cosplay, not cosmake.
It's called cosplay, not.
Right.
I want to get your, Lori, I want to get your opinion on that statement.
I have a really good friend who is a top-notch cosplayer in our community, and he does not make a single piece of any of his costumes. He works hard, saves up money to buy quality pieces to build his cosplays, and he is an amazing cosplayer because part of cosplaying is the presentation, the attitude you bring to it, the characterization, the bringing the costume itself to life, you know? And so I think somebody could be wearing a Halloween Spider-Man, but if they're out there playing Spider-Man, then they're a good cosplayer.
What about you, Maki? What are your thoughts?
I pretty much feel the same way Lori feels. I feel like if you buy your costume, it doesn't really matter. So not everybody can sew. Not everybody can, mold warbler. I don't know how to say that word. Warbler, whatever.
Close
The
enough.
stuff that makes
It's foreign.
the stuff that makes armor, and like, not to be that person, but a lot of the big name cosplayers out there don't make all the parts of their cosplays.
Yeah.
So to look down on the layman who doesn't get paid to cosplay and say, because you're not making it, you're not, as good, or not, whatever you may want to say, that is just just do whatever. Like, if you don't want to make it, don't make it. If you want to make it, make it.
Daniel has a question. I think it's a question for the group.
Kind of statement.
If someone, yeah, well, it has a question mark at the end.
A rhetorical question.
Okay, it's a rhetorical question. There you go.
Yeah.
Mexican. If someone dresses up for the attention they get, what makes their experience nullified or illegitimate?
I love attention. It's one of the things I like about cosplaying. I also am very introverted, and I don't like starting conversations. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's like, I get this cosplay, it's like either like 9 feet tall, or I'm muscular and shirtless, and I walk around and get all kinds of attention, but I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just weird like that.
Liz has the best statement. Like, that is the end all statement. I believe, in my opinion, when people buy cosplay parts, they are supporting the artists who make it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Community. Someone has to make something.
Yeah, it's making jobs and such, and
Right.
people who can actually make things, then they have a way to keep supporting the cosplay community and keep people going out dressed as whatever they want.
When I'm 90 years old and I'm tired of cosplaying Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm going to still make props, and I need someone to pay my retirement.
And like, your cosplay, whether you make it or buy it, I just like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And yeah, sure, you're going to get the one or two people that are going to be like, oh, should have done a better job, or, you know, you're always going to get that person. But as long as you're having fun and you're having you're having a good time with your buddies and you're just enjoying life, I mean, who cares? Honestly, it's just because you part of the word cosplay, it has the word play in it.
Exactly.
You're playing and you're not having fun. It's dumb.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't understand that. Cosplaying should be fun. And I go to conventions to hang out with my friends, and you said this is an adult podcast, so I can say it, and to drink with my friends and to just be anime nerds and play games.
Hey, I heard drink.
There you go.
That's all I want from cons,
It's all
take
Goku ones.
take the take the judgmentalness, unless it's asked for, like in hall cosplay stuff where they ask for critiques and stuff. But it's just, cons are supposed to be fun. Cosplay is supposed to be fun. Don't take the fun out of the play.
And there's nothing wrong with
100%.
wanting to cosplay for attention. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's a certain degree in which you are cosplaying for attention, because you really do. There's a part of you that wants someone to come up and say, that's a great costume.
Yeah.
And I take my
I
picture.
do it.
Yeah.
I do it.
At a convention, and I've already shared the story with them, but at a convention, everyone just kept calling me Maui. Even before the convention, when Moana came out, all of my friends that saw Moana, as soon as they saw Maui, they're like, that's Jesse. That's Goku.
Maui.
And I
If
was
the
like,
shoe fits.
I'm not Maui. Leave me alone. And it's so bad because that weekend at the convention, there's a little boy cosplaying Elsa. He's got like the I guess the wig and
the dress,
the crown and the dress on, and he's like Maui, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Hey, you're doomed.
I'm like, God damn it. Yes. Hey, you're welcome.
Can't disappoint him.
Hey, you're welcome.
You can't disappoint a kid,
And
not ever.
I can't disappoint a kid, especially one that's cosplaying Elsa. Like, this kid is literally expressing, like, this kid is literally the definition of progression. I can't let him down. And then there's these guys. There's like these two dudes from Hawaii. They're actually Samoan. And now they're calling me Maui. Hey, Maui, bada. I'm like, God damn it, I'm not Samoan.
Maybe we just cosplay Maui and be over with.
I was cosplaying Princess Peach at a local con last fall, and it was a little girl who came up to me, and she was just excited. You're a princess, and she made me feel so good because she recognized me and wanted to know where magic came from and was talking it all up, and no one else had talked to me at that point, and I was like, children, they're the ones who see the real cosplay of it all, what it really means.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not judging you. They're loving you.
Right. No, I completely... Children, when a child reacts to you, whenever they see you and their face, their expression can, like, depending on what it is, will like you're either... I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe.
Can't disappoint
But
children.
it's like
That's a number one rule.
You feel like you're in a Disney movie. It's like a magical moment. It's like, holy crap.
Cool for them,
Like this kid, because I went to the hospital as a Ninja Turtle, and I was like dying of a heat stroke in it. So the nurse is like, hey, so we're visiting all the sick kids there, and there's one sick kid that didn't come out. And they're like, hey, can you come with us to the hospital room? There's a 3-year-old boy. He had a heart transplant, and his whole room is decked out in Ninja Turtle swag. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go. Come on, let's do this. Like, I'm all like, yeah, but deep down inside, I'm like, air, water. So I see this little kid, and the little kid is scared to death of me. But their whole room was in Ninja Turtle stuff, like decked out. and this kid just had like a heart transplant, a child, like a little 3 or 4 year old child. And like eventually they stopped crying and he reached his hand out for me and I like grabbed his hand and eventually he warmed up to me. But it was just that moment, that feeling that it's just like, I don't know, like all of a sudden I didn't feel like I was dying of a heat stroke. Like I felt like that. I don't know. It was an experience that it's hard to describe, but once you have that kind of experience, it makes you feel invincible. And like that's really what like, and I know like your group is dedicated to creating a safe space. And people, when people think safe space, they're like, oh my God, snowflakes. Oh,
Right.
people that get their feelings hurt, people that can't take a joke, people that have like, they don't have tough skin. That's not what necessarily that's not what safe space is about. This is a group with a safe environment to where we can be and express ourselves the way we would like and be accepted for who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not I don't have like skin. I've been called different names by different people, by guests even, and I've almost got into fist fights with them. But I appreciate what the group is trying to accomplish, what you guys are doing, the atmosphere you create, because there are a lot of people over there that are like, they do the share for share, the follow for follow.
Yeah.
And they're like it's a community of people that are not only we're learning to accept each other for who we are. And if we don't want to change, because like if we're happy with who we are, we don't have to change. But if we do want to change, it has to be for us, not for just because society makes us.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but I imagine that y'all do get like trolls and people that like show up and they like like how often does that happen? Like if it happens at all?
It doesn't happen very often. I think we had one little drama moment a couple of months ago. But the person involved the person being rude ended up leaving because everybody was like, no, we're not going to put up with that. Don't behave that way towards people. And so, I didn't even have to kick the person out of the group. But I love this group because it is so low key, and people are on board with the being positive, and we don't have to spend a lot of time babysitting people to act like adults and be kind. They seem to get it. So I'm good for that.
Right. No, yeah. The reason why I asked, because I've seen other groups. There's a group called The Fire Rises. They're a shit posting group, and they are. I had to leave that group because it was just too much. Like I'm not gonna lie, I have some dark humor. Like there are some offensive jokes, even towards me, that I'm like, that's actually kind of funny. I'll laugh. But it was like, when you're attacking individuals for the way they look or the way they dress or what they believe in, there's such thing as like a line, and that line they crossed it like 10 miles ago.
Yeah.
And like there are hey Jace, can you moderate the comment section for me?
I'm
please?
doing it.
Okay. All right, because we seem to have a misunderstanding in the comment section. That's why we haven't addressed the comment section, because I don't know what's going on.
I'm on it.
All right, thank you. Referee, go put on your referee shirt.
Sleeves now.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
you could take off the sleeves like Vince McMahon when he was the guest referee at one point.
It's just a slightly smaller tank top.
There you go.
But because I feel like little by little, the cosplay community is becoming more accepting.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially for people of color, it was like, and we've already, I know, like it's just we want to be accepted. We want to be able to cosplay who we want without being ridiculed for it. And I think that's why, like, you know, like Black Panther and Black Lightning and Static Shock are so big to the African American community, because they have someone to look up to. But as a Latino, I don't have anyone in this country that I can really look up to, except for like Blue Beetle.
Oh wait, when you brought up Black Panther and Static Shock, also Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, that's right.
Spider-Man, yeah.
It's just, and like, there's another thing that we were gonna like whenever it comes to like movies and roles, people are always getting mad whenever they change the race of a character. Like when they changed Human Torch, right? From Fantastic
Yeah,
Four?
it was Fan Four Stick. It was Michael B. Jordan playing
Michael B. Jordan.
Johnny.
My issue is Barry Allen needs to be blonde. It's my only issue with
The
him.
Flash.
Yeah, no, I don't even like the fact that he's. I'm like, why isn't he blonde? He's supposed to be blonde. He's supposed to be dumb and blonde. No, I don't care what race the characters are as long as the story makes sense. If you get what I mean, like okay,
Right.
fine, make him black, but can you at least explain to me to where it makes sense as to why he's black, but his sister's also like super pale white?
It was
adoption, right?
Yeah, that was the way they explained it.
They explained it like that, but I'm like, okay.
In the comics, it wasn't like that.
No, I mean they can at least, if they're gonna use adoption, that's fine.
Okay.
But like, as long as the story makes sense, if the story makes sense, I don't care what race you are.
Yeah.
That's true.
But,
Exactly.
But as a cosplayer, like, have there been any cosplays that you have always wanted to cosplay that you would like to do now, but you didn't do before because you felt like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to get shit for it, you know? Like, oh, it doesn't have to just be size. It could also be race or whatever. Anything. Gender. So I know like people are doing crossplay more now than they were before. Like crossplay is definitely big now.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I got one. I wanted to cosplay Garnet, but
Do it.
it's one of those things where, like, do I color my skin red, but Garnet is seen as a black character that is just portrayed in that skin color, or I just go white.
Wait, Garnet's the one.
The
With the
afro,
glasses
big
and the
square
giant-
afro.
Third eye.
She's square mom.
I thought she was like a violet color.
She's like a weird. It's like a purple red color.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was
she's
thinking.
portrayed primarily as a black character in that show. But I can't. I was like, I color myself that color, but that's making my skin color a different one. But it's like with Amethyst is purple, Garnet is this color, but it's not how the character is seen. Like Amethyst is seen as a Hispanic character. Is how she's portrayed as in the show, how she acts. But she's purple, and Pearl is just a white person. Pearl is so white.
You got real quiet when you said.
Yeah, I was just laughing at the silence. Sorry.
I could say that she's white. I'm white. I could say that.
No, it's not the fact that you said it. It's just kind of the way you threw it out there. Oh yeah, this person's this shade of green, neon, and beige, and all this, and then the amethyst is white.
Color is just white. It's pearl.
Pearl. I haven't seen Steven Universe,
love
but
that
I
show.
imagine
Yeah, me too.
it's purple. It's really like a darkish reddish purple. I don't think there's an issue.
Who, Garnet?
Garnet.
Yeah, Garnet.
Yeah.
It's like a maroon.
I would
It's
either say just do like that color or just don't do nothing at all. Like
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like,
whatever
wanna
you'd be more
cosplay this.
comfortable in. Have you ever done a full body paint cosplay before? Or not
No.
full body, but a lot of body.
Oh my god, I want to see you in a fro.
giant square fro. I had a design for it.
I want to see you in a
I
blonde
like
fro.
the sunglasses.
Square
The
fro.
Sunglasses are cool.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
say it like
pretty
that.
You
Square
need to
fro.
walk out there in like a disco outfit with a fro.
Disco
with the-
I don't
Stu.
think
button-up
you've
shirt
never
with
seen this
half
show
open.
before.
No, I'm talking
just
about a
do
different
like a
costume.
crazy
I'm talking about a
blonde
different
Bob
cosplay
Ross.
now.
Just do a Disco Stew from The Simpsons.
Disgusting.
Disco Stew.
Dead goldfish. in my
Ryan
shoes.
says, I'm a 6 foot, 65 pound dude. They wanted to cosplay 02. I had a costume made, cut, styled, a wig, did my makeup, and wore it to OniCon last year for the first time. I got a lot of support for it. Feels good. Yeah, Ryan,
is
you
good.
should.
That's
you should-
amazing.
do you have pictures? I actually want to. I kind of want to see that. For me, I have cosplayed Ninja Turtles. I have cosplayed the Megazord from Power Rangers. I've cosplayed a bar of soap. I've worn a poncho and sombrero. And I have walked around, and I've gone to the club in a giant Pikachu mascot costume.
Ooh.
I have, like, I'm very outgoing. When I'm comfortable, I'm outgoing and loud and obnoxious. But whenever I'm out of my comfort zone, I'm shy and quiet. So that's how I feel comfortable. Like, hey, Pikachu. And then I'm drinking as Pikachu. There's even pictures of me at the Renaissance Festival pole dancing as Pikachu. It's great.
Truly an inspiration.
That's fun.
Beautiful.
And I don't remember that because I wasn't sober.
That's like 90% of the stories.
I was well because whenever I'm Pikachu, I'm either Cholo-Chew or Drunkachu. Cholo-Chew. That actually sounds like a good cosplay. Cholo.
Probably
It does.
Just like
Probably
that Cholo
poncho and
Thanos.
Cholo Thanos? He stole my idea.
Yeah.
I was going to do that too. But what are some cosplays that you would like to do in the future? Hopefully something that, you know, like that'd be like, oh, you know, with doves flying around and you just walk through the door and there's lights and like the doves come out. Like, what are some
That's what's
future
up.
cosplays you have planned?
Laura, you go first.
Oh, me. Well, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I love costumes, and so I've always wanted to cosplay Padme Amidala's costume, the white dress at the end, where at the big, you know, festival party.
The one with the
And
cinnamon.
with elaborate, yeah, all of that. Just because it's an elaborate, crazy costume, and it's beautiful and gorgeous, and so that's my dream cosplay that I'm terrified of because, I'm 53 years old, so there's that whole age thing. But then of course I'm plus sized, and I'm not Natalie Portman size, and so you know, go out and will I look ridiculous doing this, and should I be ashamed of myself being seen in public? So
I shared the story with everybody yesterday. I'm going to share it with y'all. If it helps you feel any better, the head of security for a convention we were at, he was cosplaying Sailor Venus, and he's very tall, and he's got as much facial hair as Jace. And there were a lot of people at this hotel. They were there for the football game, for the college football game. So this older dude walks in the bathroom, and he just sees a 6-foot-tall chick peeing, standing in a urinal. And so he goes to go use the bathroom, and the security guy just turns his head, looks directly at him, says, "What's up, bro? You here for the game?" He scared that dude. That guy ran out of that bathroom. He's like, "Nope, I'm gonna just leave."
oh my gosh.
Sounds like that guy was real comfortable with himself. So
He was, because
as long as you're comfortable, do
our
whatever you
drunk
want.
friend had our TV for karaoke, and he thought we stole the TV. So it's kind of like we're trying not to laugh because security's telling us to stop right there and wait. And then like, it's Sailor Venus.
Stop in the name of justice.
I'm like, do we stop by moonlight? Winning love by daylight?
She's the one named Sailor Moon.
So like, you know, just that alone, just like we've like just seeing the public's reaction. Sometimes you'll get a good reaction. Sometimes you'll get like a, what did I just walk into reaction.
Right. Like a WTF moment.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
We were at there was a convention that was hosted the same weekend as the rodeo here in Houston. And there were like cowboys and rednecks everywhere, and they're staring at everybody. But this one dude recognized my friend as Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. He's like, "Oh, you're that one Super Saiyan from that Dragon Ball Z show, Trunks." And the guy's drunk, so he's like, "I want to buy that costume from you, son. Like, money is not an issue." He like whips
I
out
don't want
his
to buy that
checkbook.
costume, son. Nothing ain't an issue.
He whipped out his checkbook and like offered to buy the costume from him. I'm like, dude, don't do it. He's drunk.
Don't do it. That check's gonna bounce. Get cash
But-
only.
Yeah, get cash. Get $1,000.
Cash App.
Cash App didn't
Venmo
exist
me.
back then. Cash App didn't
okay.
exist. We're that old.
Cash only.
Anyway, I've had a lot of experiences like that too. My favorite was so I'm from the DMV, and so we get put with a lot of interesting conventions around here. And one time I went to KatsuCon, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what convention was going on at the same time. It was like a junior business. I'm gonna say junior businessman's convention because I don't know what it's called. And that was a fun experience. And it's always funny because like after dark, when cosplayers get a little more rowdy, it's always funny to see those convention goers kind of, the other convention goers, like the junior businessman convention goers, kind of slip into the mix of everybody, and that's always a good time.
Oh yeah, like I've gone to many different parties. I've gone to business parties, like not business parties, but like parties with business people. I've gone to parties in the hood. I've gone to parties like with cosplayers, and I have to say, and I've gone to parties at the Texas Renaissance Festival, and I have to say, like nobody parties like nerds.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
I have seen so much shit in my life. I've actually, and I keep telling my friend, like, look,
Got nothing to do with the conversation.
like, look, guys, look, y'all need to start locking these doors, okay? Because I'm tired of walking in seeing y'all naked.
It's happened too many times.
He's like, and my friend's like, well, who have you seen naked? It's like, it'd be easier for me to make a list of who I haven't seen naked.
Than who I've seen naked.
See those three on the couch? None of them.
See the new people that just joined us this weekend? The two new people? Yeah, them. They're the only ones.
Wait. No, yeah, that one I've seen.
It's you.
Hey, Rick.
No, but like, and that's something that we've been meaning to cover. I guess I would like to just get it like a statement from y'all. How do y'all feel about, like, obviously you probably do this as well, but how do you feel like people are always like looking down on nerds and cosplayers and geeks that drink at cons? They're like, how can you go to a con and drink?
I'm gonna be honest. I love conventions, but I go mostly to drink with friends. Like I love cosplaying and I love playing games, but like I want to say at this point in my life, because I'm not, as I'm gonna say not as deep into the cosplaying scene as I used to be, that I go to drink with my friends and to play games and to admire cosplays and to make other people feel good about their cosplays, like to give that support that, you know, maybe I didn't receive at first. Like I always go out of my way to do that kind of stuff, but I don't see a problem with drinking at conventions. It's just the right place, right time.
What kind of a veteran you turn into? Are you the kind that goes there because your friends are all there, you can cosplay a little bit and just have fun with all your friends? Are you an in-depth cosplayer who has to go to the cosplay show? They've got probably like a sponsored booth they got to go to, or are you security and a volunteer?
I'm like just the drunk aunt.
The drunk aunt. They had to bring their kids there.
Yeah,
the other kids.
My friends are my kids.
Yeah.
What about you, Lori? What kind of con goer are you?
I am a minimal drinker con goer, I will admit, but that's because I have a family history of alcoholism, and so I limit myself to one drink.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind. I mean, look, I was in the Air Force, and nobody drinks like servicemen
This is
and
true.
women.
This is very
I
true.
saw Highlander in the theater full of drunk airmen. It was awesome in 1986. So I have no problem with people drinking and being at parties with people drinking. So my not drinking has nothing to do with not having fun. It just has to do with, life.
Right. And the reason why we bring this up, because this is all part of the acceptance, like accepting people for who they are kind of circle. There are just some things that I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. There are just certain things that we are never going to accept as a community. Like, one of the biggest rules about cosplay is just because someone's in cosplay does not mean that it is consent to physically grab them.
Right.
if you are talking to somebody, oh no, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If you see somebody and you're trying to talk to them, like talk to them, and you find out they're not exactly legal, you need to leave. Like, leave that person alone.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, and that's one of the issues that we're going to cover in a future podcast, because that is a whole 2-hour conversation. I've seen guys my age, maybe older, maybe a little younger, and they're like, oh my God, look at that girl, she's really pretty, dude, she's 16. Well, age is just a number. I'm like, no, dude.
No, don't. That's a
like,
big red
like,
flag.
Don't say that shit, because I've actually said this to one of my friends. Like, look, she's 16. If you go talk to her, my foot is going to have a date with your ass.
Basically, he's pulling a Red Foreman.
Yes, I do a lot of Red Foreman. I am very much against that shit. Like, do not talk to somebody. Like, I don't even like talking to somebody that's not even. Hey, are you 21? Nope. Get away from me then.
Oh yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Everybody feels like a baby to me
Right. Well,
in the cosplay scene.
Like, I'm 32. Like, I don't even remember what it was like to be 21. But like cosplay, we as cosplayers, we like to be accepted. There's a lot of things that the cosplay community needs a lot of work on. Like hygiene, that is one of the biggest discussions nowadays. There are people that are just, some people just can't help it that they kind of smell bad. But if you're not like bathing or putting on deodorant regularly, then, that's a bit of an issue.
At least make an attempt to not be as stinky as you could be.
I mean, there are some people that sweat like Muhammad Ali in his prime in the middle of a fight. Have you ever seen a Muhammad Ali fight? He sweats buckets.
Out of his defense, it slips the punches right off.
It's like oil.
Right? No,
You can't touch me.
They're like, some people can't help it. They just sweat a ton, and like, and when it comes to the community, we really ask people, like, just be kind to man, be nice. Like, just because you don't think that person looks great doesn't mean that they're not amazing at their job. Like, look at that costume. They made that costume. I can't even begin to make that shit. Like, look at the makeup, the costume, everything. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just thinking in terms of what you're saying. If you look at people's cosplays, you can find one thing to say nice to them, to be kind to them about. And it takes so little, and it would make their universe.
That's what I do all the time at the con. Like, I saw this Master Chief from Halo, but it was cardboard. It was just cardboard, and he didn't really like have all of himself covered. It was just like little bits and pieces here and there. I was all like, "Hey, Master Chief!" Oh my! I'm like, I'm like, Master Chief, and then I got like just a bunch of people, my buddies, to like circle around him. We're just Master Chief, Master Chief, and we're drinking. Like, I'm more of a hype man. Whenever I see somebody, I like to like hype people up to help lift their spirits. Like, hey, how you
that's
doing?
The same thing I do at cons. I like it. Like, it's so easy to be nice to me, or not to me personally, but like to me, it is easy to be nice to other people because you just have to say something nice. It's just oh, you look like so nice, or you look so pretty, or that color looks so nice on you, or like sometimes cosplay is more about how it makes the person feel.
Yeah,
like maybe they don't look great. That sounds mean, but you know what I'm saying. But but like sometimes they feel confident, or they feel comfortable, or they're cosplaying their favorite character. So just be like, like, good job. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge that, and just go about your day.
I'll compliment anyone I see, like, hey, but whenever people ask me or think I look like, oh my God, I love your costume, and I'm like looking around like,
are you talking to me?
Can I get your picture? And I'm like, why? Because like I've noticed that like it doesn't matter how you dress, and I'm like a testament to that. Like, I run around in a poncho and sombrero, and I went to this convention. I'm dressed as a dinosaur, and nobody even like looked at me. And I'm like, well, nobody's paying attention. I'm trying to be funny. I'm gonna go put on my poncho and sombrero and start drinking. As soon as I put on the poncho and sombrero, everyone in the pool area started crowding me up. There were guys that are like cosplay models. They have 6-packs. They're like really boy pretty, like boy band pretty. And they're coming up to me. Oh my God, it's you, the Mexican guy. You're like my inspiration. This guy's about to start crying. I'm like, okay.
It's at a very low bar for inspiration.
He's like, you're like, man, you're such a party dude. Like you party so hard. I'm like, is that like an insult or a compliment? You're
I
welcome.
told myself I never want to be like you.
Aw.
It was like you took shots of Everclear and you walked a straight line. I'm like, yeah, thanks for telling me. Now I probably have to go into AA meeting after this.
Everclear is spicy.
Everclear is 95% alcohol for those of you that don't know. And for those of you that go by the proof number, it's 190 proof.
Extra spicy.
I don't know about that spicy thing, but it'll burn a hole in your stomach if you're not careful.
Spicy.
Fire.
Speaking
Liquid fire.
But like when you look at the group, when you look at it, are you kind of like content with the way it is now? I know you're happy with the way it's going, but like, do you have anything like future, like anything you want to do more with the group? Like you want to like be more inclusive for other groups, or I guess I'm asking the wrong question, but kind of like plans wise for the group, because it's going really good. It's going really good. It's a great group. People are so inspiring. People are inspiring towards each other, and I've seen people like they'll post their first cosplays, but as they post more and more cosplays, they get better and better and better.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of the group is watching people like level up their cosplaying skills. And I think we're already inclusive. Like we don't exclude anyone, even though we're a plus size cosplayers group. We don't say no to anybody who may be, smaller or skinnier, because the point of the plus size cosplayers group is to make, as you said earlier, a safer place for plus size people. That doesn't mean that it's not inclusive of other shapes and sizes of people, because that's not what it's about. It's just about, making.
And I will say this, I have noticed that. I've noticed that there are people that are not plus size in the group, and I actually applaud that. Like that is amazing, because there are groups when they say we are only for this type race or religion or whatever they're centered around, they mean it. Like if you don't meet their criteria, you cannot get in. But y'all are very inclusive. Y'all have people that are part of the plus size community that aren't plus size themselves, but want to be supportive of cosplayers that are.
Yeah.
Well, and some of those people want a safe place to be supported too, because, some of the there are cosplay groups which are very persnickety about who's in their group. It's almost like, being in high school again, and are you in the it crowd? And there are ordinary body type people who feel like they don't belong, they can't get in, and we're like, hey, we'll take you in, we'll tell you you look great.
We're accepting of everyone. Plus it's hard to like, it would be hard to cut off, because like everybody's definition of plus size is different. So some people may say a size 12 is plus size, others may say it's not. So who are we to choose that distinction?
I will say this, I have female friends that they're like, oh my God, I'm fat. I'm like, no, you are not fat. And then I'll point at the Kung Fu Panda statue. You see Kung Fu Panda? That's fat.
His name is Poe.
And like,
he's
you see
athletic.
You see Kung Fu Panda? That's just me in a panda costume. So I'm like, you're not fat. You're fine the way you are. I tell people all the time, like, you're fine the way you are.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody needs support.
because like whenever I try to like get to know somebody, talk to somebody, I always tell them like, look, the exterior beauty of an individual is only defined by how beautiful they are on the inside.
Right.
Like if you could be the prettiest, by definition, you could be the prettiest girl in the world, but if I totally do not like your personality, you will be very unattractive to me. I will not see the pretty. And that is the case with me with some people. Like there are some people in the community that are just like, I'm like, oh, why are they here? Like they're so mean. They're always bitching and complaining. I'm like, but dude, she's hot. I'm like, not to me.
can't see past that personality. They just
Right,
exude.
because I'm very personality based. Like I have to know your personality, and I have to know that you don't have to be like a saint, but you know you have to be at least. You have to acknowledge that you have flaws as well. Like you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm also not God's gift to the world.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to say, like when you were talking about your friend who may say, like, who said she was fat or whatever, one of my favorite things to say to my friends that say things like that, and then they may feel bad because, you know, like if you say I'm fat in front of a fat person, it's like, oh, but like you're okay. What I like to say is that like my being fat doesn't, I had the perfect word for this and it disappeared, but my being fat doesn't take away your body struggles, you know, like it doesn't change how you feel about yourself. So like I
It's
think that
kind of
people
like
should.
I have a very similar I'll take like look on there whenever one of my guy friends like, dude, I'm fat. I'm like, fuck it, me too. Let's party. That's because ever since I saw that one, though, it's a meme and it says being comfortable in your own body, and it shows the dude with the T-shirt that says I'm fat. Let's party.
Oh, I've seen that when he was at
I'm
like
like,
a concert or something.
he's at a concert.
I'm
I'm like,
fat, let's
that's my
party.
spirit animal right there. I'm fat. Let's party. that is my look on like I'm like because like there are. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have gotten to the point where I was very like the way I felt with my weight. I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with this anymore. I want to get back into shape. I want to get back to a certain weight, and I want to get back into shape. I want to start working out and get stronger. But that's for me. I'm not doing it because everyone else. I want to do it for
Right.
me. And like, you know, there's nothing wrong with trying to fix yourself for you.
Right, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a physical thing either. Like there are people who are just mentally like they have mental health issues, they have physical health issues, and there are some people like Bogey, like I don't know if you know the YouTuber Bogey, like he's tried to lose weight and he just can't because he has an illness like he's tried to work out and lose weight but he can't because of his illness. There's just some people that just can't, like they can't drop the weight, and that's like there's nothing wrong with being who you are and being comfortable. And there are people that are going to accept you for who you are. I mean, and you're going to have the people that don't accept you. Like, you know, the Cobra Kai people from the Cobra Kai show that I've been watching. Every podcast this week I've been talking about Cobra Kai, like Cobra Kai.
It's becoming the new man-eater.
It is the new man-eater.
Man-eater in Cobra Kai.
He's
Cobra
a simple
Eater.
person.
Cobra Eater.
Good show.
Good show. I don't know if y'all seen Cobra Kai, but it's amazing.
I
recommend
love
it.
Cobra Kai.
Oh my
I
God.
haven't seen it. I feel left out.
I haven't seen it either, but Goku is just
Maki, I recommend. Have you ever seen Karate Kid?
A long time ago. The first, like the original one. I haven't seen the new one.
Right. So if you ever seen just the Cobra, you don't even have to see the movie. The show's really good because it's about a group of kids that were nerds that become the bullies, and like these kids that were like, it's so like, it's hard to describe, but it's so well written. It's such a good story.
It's the Karate Kid, but the bad guy is the good guy now, and the good guy is the bad guy.
No, it's not even that. It's not even
It's
that.
not even that
I know.
simple.
That's
It really isn't.
That's how they
I love
portray
that
it.
it's so textured in its
It's-
storytelling.
It's 10% black, 10% white, and then 80% gray.
Math checks out.
It is 80% because
I like
there is
that.
so much gray area there. And it's like you can't, and like the kids that become the bullies, you can't even feel bad for them. Like no, I'm sorry, not feel bad for them. You can't even like hate them completely. Like, oh, that kid's just being a dick. No, when you see how they developed into this character and see their backstory, you're like, man. And there's one of the characters that I felt really bad for, because one of the things in the growing up, being a geek, somebody loved comics, somebody loved Dragon Ball, anime. I had vitiligo growing up. It was a white spot right here that covered my face, and I still have it. That's why my mustache is kind of white. It's not even
I
gray
was
hair.
wondering
It's because
about
of
that.
when you have vitiligo, it also affects the color of your hair.
Mhm.
So I had it. It was like it would cover like my entire cheek, and people called me names and they gave me all kinds of shit for it growing up. So one of the kids with a deformity it's not even a real deformity, but it's like a scar on his face. It's a cosmetic scar. And I felt for him. I really did, because I felt like that struggle that he was going through, I went through that. But then I learned to stand up for myself, and I learned to fight back, and I kind of became the douche as well. So that's why I can relate to it. But Cobra Kai is really good. I do recommend it.
We should really be sponsored by some of these things.
We really should.
You really should, yeah.
Man, we've missed out on a lot of opportunities.
But with the group growing, the group is growing. The group, there are already some people in the comment section that want to join the group. For the people that want to join the group, we're going to go ahead and send a link. We're going to post the link. Actually, Jace, if you can get that link for me.
You got to send it to me because I don't have the link.
Oh, damn it.
Tell them to answer all the questions. There's 3 of them.
Oh, okay. There's 3 questions. Okay.
Just tell me what it's called. Say it out loud what the group is called, and I'll find it.
It's called the Plus-Sized Cosplayers. It's with the D. Because there's 2 groups with very similar names.
Yeah, I think the second group is a new group that was started by the original owner of this group.
Whoa.
Drama. I don't know.
Too lazy to change the name more than
It's
the letter.
been so long, I don't remember now, but I think that's where that other group came
Cosplay or
from.
cosplayers?
Cosplayers.
Okay.
It's
I have tried to do things with the group and develop, support things, links for places to improve your cosplay or stuff like that. But nobody's ever been very responsive to that. I finally just realized people just want to get on, post pictures of their cosplays, talk to one another about their cosplays.
Mm-hmm.
They just want it simple and easy, and they want the positive, and they want the support. That's what they want.
I don't know if it's your group or another group, but I think there's always the occasional, hey, I'm single. Who else is single?
Oh, I don't. I discourage that, I'll admit.
Is this the one with the Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander banner?
No.
Okay,
It has
No.
like
that's the one.
I'll see if I can send here. I'll send somebody a link somehow. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
That was the one that came up, and I looked for the with the D.
You typed in plus sized with the D at the end.
With a D. Yeah, that's correct.
Cosplayers. I'll send it to you. I got you. I got it on the. Well, okay, so, I mean, there's like you
Is
can
it the
always
Wonder
do
Woman
like
one?
a virtual, like a lot of groups. What they're starting to do now, and some groups are actually catching some traction with it. Some are doing virtual cosplay contests. And I don't know if that's something that y'all have considered doing.
No, actually, we haven't, but that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, that does sound kind of fun. I wanted to do a sorry for interrupting.
No, I was just gonna let my friend. I got the link, man. I'll send it to you right now.
Send it to me.
Send it.
I thought doing like a banner contest would be fun because our banner is, I guess it's like 6 years old at this point, but it's just figuring out the logistics of it and making sure everybody has a fair chance to be, on the banner. But I think that would be a fun, activity to do, especially with the quarantine going about and such, and people having time to just.
I would love that because I look at the banner all the time thinking, I want to change this up, but I don't have the skills to make a new banner. So
I don't want to sound. This might sound a little wrong. Maybe I should keep it to myself. But some of the cosplayers kind of look like the same individual.
Well.
I think they were.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't want to sound.
Some
racist.
of those people aren't even still in the group anymore.
No. I know some of them are the old admins who have split off due to different opinions.
Uh-huh.
So that's another reason I think we should change it. And also just to like put people who are active in the group up there and let them know that like we see you, we see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep being you.
So if anyone out there with good Photoshop skills wants to be in the group and make banners for us.
You heard it here, folks. They need help with the banner.
We could change them up seasonally. That'd be cute and have like different season flavored.
Get the make like a a status, like update the group, like, hey, submit your cosplay to be a part of our banner, and we'll select a few lucky winners to be a part of it. And then you can change it, alternate, like, okay, because another group does this, like, okay, who hasn't been on the banner yet? After like a certain amount of time goes up, they'll have people that haven't been on the banner submit pictures, and they'll change it periodically. I think it's every 6 weeks or so. But something like that, find someone in the group that can actually help out. Like, hey, would you like to help us out? And then they can help make the banner, and then you can change it periodically to give people some, like, some shine, like, let them shine.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do like a lot. Like, you can do like 6.
Yeah, I was thinking
five
of
or
bringing
something.
it down from the amount, because like these you can only get like a little glimpse. I think being able to showcase maybe just a little more of the cosplay would be
Right, and
ideal.
it's a good way to get the community involved and get them like more active with it, because there's nothing wrong with posting and doing one-on-one conversations, but I kind of get turned away from a group whenever the minute I see somebody go, hey, I'm single, who wants to talk,
Wants to mingle.
single, ready
Yeah,
to
that's
mingle.
kind of why we discourage that, because it can make people uncomfortable, and as much as it sucks, there are predatory people in the community, so we just try and limit
Right. That's always
exposure
a
to that.
challenge.
Right, no, I absolutely agree. There are people out there
Mhm.
that are just no
Yeah,
bad hombres.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
like, yeah,
people's-
I think it's because oh right, okay, it isn't your group because y'all have the whole has to be approved by an admin first, in case there's like a bot or spam or anything like that, or inappropriate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I do look for that. I mean, I'm pretty easygoing. You have to answer all 3 questions. And I do a quick look at the profile, just to make sure. But yeah, it's pretty easy. We have no problem getting people in.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Y'all's group, like I said, it's growing, and you're gonna constantly get more members, and people are gonna talk about it and hear it. And like, it's very rare, and based on what I've seen, it's very rare that a group will go on a podcast and talk about their group. I don't think I've ever heard of it or seen it, but like, that's why we wanted y'all to come on here and talk about it and help, and to help like show people like, hey, there is a community to where you can go and be accepted for who you are.
Mhm.
Yeah, by all means. I not want to talk about your group. What's wrong with you?
It's a private group. It's private.
Right, because there are some groups, like, we're guilty of it. There are some groups that are just dedicated to the podcast. Like, oh yeah, we have a Facebook group of like 70 people, and it's just like, hey, but it's not just our podcast. We have other people there where they share their content as well.
yeah.
Like, there's a lot of podcast groups in the we're not really, like, I'm a member of some of those groups, but I really don't share on them because it's a lot. It's oversaturated with podcasts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually gotten, believe it or not, there are a lot of people, other podcasters, that don't like the format that we have. We don't have a script. We're very, very laid back.
Improvised and all that.
We improvise a lot. And sometimes we will go off topic and we will stay off topic.
You mean you go on and talk about Cobra Kai?
Yes, absolutely. No, so y'all missed it. So
I
yesterday,
feel like that's part of our format is pick some random thing for go to
so yeah,
for a
for
little while.
real. So yesterday we didn't have any subjects whatsoever. We still have to go on live. We didn't have anything to talk about. I'm like, dude, I didn't research anything. I didn't look anything up. I have nothing happened this weekend. I'm like, what are we going to do? So I didn't even tell them what the title of the video was. But as soon as they get on, as soon as everybody gets on, the title of the podcast was Never Accept a Hand Job from a Cactus.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's an interesting conversation.
Right. And it was just posted as a joke. But
No,
everybody's like,
I
"Ugh."
demand to talk about this cactus now.
Like,
I have questions of the logistics of that, so
Oh,
I
we
can see
covered
how
quite
that
a
could
few
be.
of them. It was a whole 45 minutes of how did Goku sex this cactus?
how did Goku sex this kid? In my defense, the cactus was very persuasive.
as long as it was consensual.
The cactus could have sold ice to an Eskimo.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know.
That's cactus.
The cactus never called me again, so I'm kind of sad.
It's only been a day.
Right?
You would think that. It's been years.
He's been
So whenever we
sulking
don't
over
have
his
anything, because we are a daily podcast, and that's another thing that like people are like surprised that we are daily. We're Monday through Friday at 7 for 2 hours, and we're live. And we run out of material to talk about. Like most podcasts are twice a week, 3 times a week is even pushing it. But we are like, what are you laughing at?
Sorry, it's just the way it's just what you mentioned earlier about
The cactus?
yeah, the cactus.
I think the cactus is going to replace the bear as the mascot.
No.
Or if
The
we
bear
lose
was,
no
the bear
name
was
nerd,
also a joke.
if we lose no name nerd as a sponsor, we're definitely replacing it with a cactus.
I'll put a cactus as one of these things. I'll just put a cactus.
Don't say that because you could lose the sponsor.
We could lose them as a sponsor. We're not really making anything. We're not big enough to make anything from them. No, but like I just wanted to say thank you very much for agreeing to be on here. Like we're very laid back. We wanted to have like a very serious conversation this time around. We did have a really good conversation. We covered a lot of topics. The comment section got really rowdy.
Well, I couldn't see it because I can't wear my glasses while I'm zooming, and so
There-
it's all blurry.
It was just a misunderstanding. It was just a misunderstanding that happened in the comment section about. I was ignoring it. That's why I got Jace on it.
The misunderstanding, if you want to address it, it was the cosplaying for popularity only can cause like the bully mentality, but it was based off of someone's personal experience, but that wasn't said initially. So there's kind of back and forth that they're like, well, that's bad for the cosplay community. It's like this was just someone stating their opinion because it happened to them.
So
But
wait,
It was a misunderstanding.
was it about can cosplaying for attention create bullies?
Right. Because the idea that cosplaying for attention are the same type of people that turn into bullies that are out there saying you aren't good enough, kind of judgmental. That's what one person's opinion was based off of the statement, but one was based off of a personal experience of cosplaying for attention is okay because people can do that. Just like gamer girls. They want to be a gamer.
There
fine.
are just to put it out there are people that are, for lack of a better word, cosplay bullies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It can happen. There are people like, oh my god, how dare you cosplay a L? I'm the only L cosplayer. I'm like, dude, you're literally in a
Anybody in jeans and a white shirt is now cosplayer.
for real.
Long hair.
With bags.
Like,
Every cosplayer has bags though.
I mean, like
Ugh.
there
Tell me
are
about
some
it.
cosplay. Some of the cosplay, like they call them cosplay elitist. There are some of them that can be bullies. Like, oh, your cosplay's mediocre. Like, oh, like when I was so much better than you at that age, or like you have those people.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the comments were rowdy because it was the misunderstanding of one person making the blanket statement, but not identifying that it was a personal experience, not an overall umbrella idea. That was just what the comments were. But it's
Well, I
true.
mean,
Like, if
I
you
guess
cosplay for attention, and you can kind of breed that idea that this person's only in it for the attention, and then people will come at them and attack.
I mean,
them
there's
because
nothing
they're
wrong with
doing it
cosplaying for
the wrong
attention.
reason.
Shit, I love attention.
Yeah. So
If I didn't like
cosplay
attention,
for
I wouldn't be doing a
attention.
podcast.
I like looking at pictures of myself, and if I don't get enough of them, I'll make
I
it.
hate it. I hate listening to the old podcast, and I hate looking at pictures of myself. I'm like, ugh. Like, this one sucks. This one sucks.
I'm an egotist, though. So
You said you what?
I'm an egotist.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something else. Sorry.
Anyways, well, thank you.
It's a slight skip in the podcast.
Thank you both of you for agreeing to do the podcast. I know y'all had said that y'all couldn't do the whole show, but we have made it to like the very.
How's your
last
puppy doing? Because it
Yeah,
was
how's
2 hours. And it was supposed to be
Did-
for 1
Did the
hour.
puppy pee on the floor?
I have my boyfriend take him out in the middle of the podcast, so it all worked
Hey.
out. His name is Ein.
Oh,
Oh, like Cowboy
the
Bebop.
puppy or your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Puppy.
Okay.
He's a corgi. I got him. I'm talking about him because I love him, and
Corgis are
I got him like
Mhm.
a month ago. So,
Chihuahuas
He's a
are the
baby.
real monsters when it comes to dogs. The ankle biters.
oh man,
big
I like
rats.
those two though.
Well, the Chihuahuas over here are always trying to bite me.
Imagine if they were just bigger. Mean.
They would probably
No.
be friendlier.
They're probably so mean because they are small and they're compensated.
They're-
They're like,
They're
so
gonna
what
be,
if I'm small?
"Arr, I'm angry because I'm small.
I can't see things.
Got that Napoleon complex.
Yeah, there you go. I was about to say that.
But no, thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing to be on here. We tried to like be very serious. The comment section got really rowdy. I tried not to share too many stories where I did something horrible.
You only got like 2 of them this
Hey, I
time.
know, right?
That's a record.
I know. I do have good news. I fixed my car.
There you go.
Yay!
Yay! I didn't commit a
Yeah,
crime
woo!
today. I mean,
Because his car was broke.
I didn't ever commit one.
All these are recorded, Goku. Like they already know.
Right? But those
Yeah.
are old. Those are like 7 years old.
Okay, you're good.
Statute of limitations right now. You're safe. Depending
Right.
on the crime.
All right, so
Lawyers in the chat.
is there anything else you would like to say to our audience before we start wrapping up? Because we have about 4
I
minutes
just wanted
left.
to say thank you for inviting us to be on. That was really honored. I was excited.
I mean, y'all are more than welcome to join us whenever, because we do have some serious topics. Like, we are going to dedicate podcasts to the consent thing. You know, cosplay.
Oh, I'd like to be there for that. Let me know.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely. I'll connect with you on Facebook, and we'll have you on. There's definitely like a lot of issues that we have to address in the community. You know, like the consent one, the fuck, what was the other one? We're also going to cover other stuff like racism in the community and other stuff, like very controversial topics. But we also have like some very, very lighthearted, funny ones. Where like, today, like today's topic is it's illegal to lick doorknobs on other planets, or do not accept hand jobs from cactuses.
Those are,
I don't think I have much to say on that one.
Or like, don't ever allow yourself to be sexually assaulted by a dolphin at SeaWorld.
Yeah, that sounds
SeaWorld's
like a
still
bad
open?
idea.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Hash-
a
how about
reference.
don't
It
go
is.
to SeaWorld?
It
SeaWorld-
is still open.
Yeah, hashtag don't go to SeaWorld.
It's
Yeah.
Exactly.
they're still open, but I was making a reference because I started watching The Boys, and the Deep was saving a dolphin, and the dolphin was like hitting on him, and he wanted him to like touch him in a sexual way. He's like, "No, not right now. I'm driving. This isn't the time or place."
Oh yes, the Deep. Oh my God, that was so messed up.
It's the worst version of Aquaman.
He was trying to like touch the dolphin in a sexual way, but he ended up crashing, and the dolphin flew out of the windshield.
Oh my God, it
So-
was so graphic too.
It was like The Boys is graphic, so don't get sexually assaulted by a dolphin at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Okay. Noted.
Put it on my bucket list of things not to do.
I'm gonna say.
Everything I say, you put it on your bucket list.
Yeah, I live vicariously through you, so I don't get arrested.
Do
Go to a
not
club dressed up as Pikachu.
do not dress in a poncho and sombrero at a Republican Party convention.
Yeah, that was the worst that
Uh,
could happen.
Oh no, I'm not very political, so I'll fuck with both political parties.
These are hypotheticals for Goku. These are life experiences.
For us, they're hypotheticals. For him, life experiences.
Life experiences. Yes, like that's why I don't like Never Have I Ever games, because never have I ever done this. Oh damn it!
Never will he ever get drunk playing this game. Or he'll be shit-faced in the process.
Yeah, just right on
You
his
put-
face.
Are you supposed to drink? You drink when you've done it.
Yeah, you drink when
so
you've
you
done
would,
it.
You would get hammered immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So no, okay. Thank you also, Maki, for joining us today. Even though we didn't get to see what you look like, it's amazing to know that you're a person of color that's cosplaying and receiving a lot of support and being supportive as well. Because,
I had fun. If you guys ever need somebody to talk about gaming,
oh yeah, we can talk about gaming. Like, we can definitely talk about gaming. Maneater on the PlayStation 4. They laugh because it,
I do
like,
more like MMO type stuff, but YOLO.
oh my god, I can't. I like the closest thing I can't really do MMOs. The closest thing that I play to an MMO is Minecraft, and I don't really like Minecraft because it's just manual labor. I have to remind
But you
them-
paid for it, and then
No, because like I have to remind. I'm like, God, I told my friend, I'm like, look, man, I don't like Minecraft. He's like, why not? Because Minecraft is essentially Mexican, the video game. Build the house, build the roads, build the wall, fight monsters,
Defend yourself from zombies.
go pick
It's
up the
pretty much
crops.
playing Legos.
go breed the animals. I'm like, dude, I already did that shit growing up. I don't want to do that shit again. All right, but no, like I said, thank you very
This
much. We
time's on a
will connect with
computer.
you about future subjects, especially ones about like the consent one. That one's a big one. We might do that one next week. We'll definitely let you know. Also, Maki, if you ever want to join us in the
Okay.
future, you're more than welcome to join us as well.
Okay.
I can't see you, so I didn't know what your reaction was like.
Just waving.
Just
Can't see.
waving.
I just sorry.
Yes, nods.
Nods.
Next
yes.
time I'll be presentable so you don't have to talk
No,
to
it's
a black
okay.
screen.
It's okay. Like
Into
I
the
said, my
void.
room is a mess.
I need my room to look like somebody lives here. I have a
Yeah.
blanket and a cat.
I feel good about that.
Our other co-host is like at a hotel right now.
Yeah,
That's
our
their
other
job.
co-host is in a hotel.
It's just a blank wall.
She's moving
Uh,
around.
all right, guys. All right. So tomorrow we have Michael Horton. He was on
Yes.
Murder, She Wrote, and he's a voice actor for Transformers, and he was John Jameson, the son of Jonah Jameson in the 90s Spider-Man animated series.
The Fox Kids one.
Yes, the Fox Kids one. He will be joining us tomorrow as our guest. Tomorrow is Beer Friday, so make sure you join us at 7 p.m. If you haven't already checked out our sponsor, NoNameNerd.com, go ahead and check them out and use the coupon code Geeks5Ever, and that'll get you 10% off all of your purchases. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. It'll notify you whenever we go live. Also, hit the thumbs up, because the way the YouTube algorithm works is it will share the video with most of our followers and your friends if you thumbs us up. Even if you thumbs us down, I don't care. And also follow us
It
on
helps the
Facebook.
algorithm.
regardless.
Also follow us on Facebook and Twitch. And also, if you don't want to sign up for our Patreon, but you would like to donate to the channel, you can donate to the Geeks 5 Ever Cash App. Thank you so much for our guests for joining us from the Plus Size Cosplayers Facebook group. We will post the link in another Facebook post after we're done with this podcast. We posted the link in the comment section, but we're going to post it again so you can check them out. All right, guys, I'm Jesse Goku, also known as King Mexico. It's Jay's Keyblade Sonic. These are our guests. And we're telling everybody to stay classy.